Hi everyone. This week I'm going to be doing some recording from my kitchen. I had delivered some Lenten activity bags to our Sunday school families, and I thought it would be fun to share this activity with everyone. And our friends from home can follow along as I make the recipe. So this week we're going to make some pretzels, and we are going to talk about this little legend. So the legend of the pretzel is that in the year maybe 600, so a really, really long time ago, there were some monks who lived in a monastery, and they dedicated their lives to God. And when they were preparing the Lenten feast, one of the monks realized that there was some leftover bits of dough. So he made them into ropes and twisted them into a figure that he thought looked like crossed arms of a child. And that's how children were taught to pray. They would cross their arms. So you can kind of see how it would look like a pretzel. And he called these little bits of dough that he wrapped into a shape, he called them pretziolas. And that meant little reward in Latin. And Latin is the language that the monks would have spoken at that time. So when the children learned their prayers and they memorized them, they were given a little reward, which was a pretzel. So this is just a legend. We don't really know that this is where how pretzels began, but it's a fun little story as we think about prayer in our lives. We don't traditionally memorize prayers, except for the Lord's Prayer, which is an excellent way to learn how to pray, and that's how Jesus taught us. But there are other ways that we can remember things to pray about without having to do any memorization. So I'm going to teach you real quick a 5-finger prayer. So here's the example, and it tells us as we think of each finger what to pray for. So the first finger, your thumb, is praying for others. So that can be your family, your friends, anybody that is in your life. On your index finger, you're going to pray for your teachers. That could be your teachers in school, a scout leader, a sports coach, anybody who teaches you something. In the middle, we're going to pray for our leaders. That can be the leaders of our church. It can be the leaders of our town or our country. On our ring finger, we're going to pray for people who are in need. There can be people who are sick, those who are hungry, those who are in need of help. And on our pinky finger, we are going to pray for ourselves. And there are other versions of the 5-finger prayer, but that's one that I like because it reminds you of who to pray for. And if you can just remember those things, it can guide you through a prayer. So with that, I am going to get ready and we are going to make some pretzels. So the first instruction is to preheat your oven to 425 degrees and to line a baking sheet with some parchment paper. So I did do that. The pretzels can still stick to the parchment, so you may want to spray it with some cooking spray. The next step is to dissolve the yeast in warm water. So I put it in, I'm going to put it in my bowl, water and the yeast, and mix it together for about 1 minute. There is an optional step that's going to come a little later, but I would suggest that you prepare now. If you would like, you can do a baking soda bath before you bake them in the oven. If you want to do that, you mix 9 cups of water with a half a cup of baking soda, and you get that started boiling now, so that way it's ready to go when you hit that step. So I've already done that, and mine's heating up on the stove right now. So once your yeast is dissolved, you're going to slowly start adding 3 cups of flour, 1 cup at a time, and you're going to mix it with a wooden spoon until it's thick. Once you think your dough is ready, you test it. You push it in with your finger, and if it bounces back, then it's ready to knead. If it's ready to knead, you're going to put some flour on your surface. Then you're going to put your dough onto your surface, and you're going to knead it for about 3 minutes and shape it into a ball. After you have done your kneading, you're going to make it into a ball, and then your adult, or with adult supervision, you're going to cut it into sections. So the recipe says it makes 8 to 10 pretzels, so I would just cut it into sections accordingly to make them about as even as possible. Once you have your sections ready, you're going to roll them into longer ropes. Once you have a rope, you're going to twist it into the shape of a pretzel. Which, it takes a little practice, but once you get used to it, it's a lot easier. So you're going to put all of your pretzels together, and see, if you hold it upside down, you can see where it looks like the arms, but it's a little weary right this second. So once you've done your baking soda wash, if you've done your baking soda bath, or even if you didn't, maybe your pretzels don't look perfect. Some of mine are bigger, some are smaller, some are a little crooked, and that's all okay. Once you're done, the pretzels, it's funny, it reminds me of all of us. We're similar, we're all human, but we're all different. Like, these are all pretzels, but they're all very different. So you're going to take your egg, and you're going to just brush it on top of your pretzels, and that's going to help give it a golden brown top. So our pretzels are done, and they look delicious. There are so many ways you can enjoy it. I like to dip mine in mustard. My kids like to dip it in caramel or maybe cinnamon sugar. There's so many different ways that you can enjoy your pretzels, but I hope you enjoy them with your family. I want to close today with our 5-finger prayer. This prayer, again, it can change every single day based on how you're feeling. So for others, I'm going to pray for our church today, and I'm going to pray for our church community and be grateful for the opportunity that we can be somewhat together even though we're apart through the internet, and maybe some of us are either making pretzels or enjoying pretzels at the same time. And then I am going to be thankful for teachers. And today I'm going to be thankful for my children's teachers, because I know how much hard work they're putting into each and every school day. Then there are leaders. I'm going to pray for the leaders who make all the decisions and that have to do with COVID and getting kids back to school, all the leaders that make those really difficult decisions. Then for those in need, I'm going to pray for all those who are sick and hungry. And then for myself, I am going to say a prayer of gratitude. I feel very blessed and loved today, and I just want to thank God for all that I have been blessed with. So that's our 5-finger prayer. I hope everyone has a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time.